Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar in which we would like to explain more details on how the first semester in the IMBRSea program will look like. More details on how the so for today what we have on the schedule is actually we want to give some more details, let's say, on really practical things, but also on give you some insight in how the online semester will look like. For those that are watching this kind of webinars for the first time, it's actually not so difficult to interact with us, because we have on the right hand side of the YouTube channel, you will see that there is a chat box, and via the chat box you can post actually your questions, and then after we've gone through a short presentation in which I will try to explain a number of things, we will try to also answer these questions. Important, I think, is that you first maybe go through the different parts of the presentation, and also important to understand is that a lot of the information we share now might still change to a certain extent, to how the situation related to the COVID-19 virus is actually adapting in Europe. And I think it's clear for everyone that we just have to answer also what regulations on a national and international level are kind of formulated, and we have to just make sure that what we offer in our program is in accordance to this. Now, before I start, I think it's important to tell you that in the past months we started already in the month early May with discussing what potential scenarios we should potentially develop towards the next coming academic year, with special attention, of course, to the first semester, because that's how students enter in the program. That's also the semester where we have a joint responsibility as a program to really develop online courses, for example, as a potential alternative. And we decided in May that we wanted to set up a full online track beside the regular tracks that potentially will physically take place, but this online track should allow students anywhere in the world that are, for example, not able to travel to a certain location by the time the semester starts, for example, to still be able to complete all the courses of this first semester. Situation is as like now, for example, is the fact that we have around 35 teachers coming from a whole big, so from the University of the Algarve, Oviedo, Ancona, UBO, Ghent, GMIT, for example, and Sorbonne as well, that are contributing to the different sessions that we develop in this online trajectory. And besides that, we have also a team of around 20 students, early graduates as well, that are now doing the actual development of the materials into a full online scenario. So I just want to tell you this just to illustrate the fact that we actually are preparing already quite for a while for making sure we have a full online alternative in case things do not go as we potentially hoped they would go in September. I want to share my screen actually to go through a number of these scenarios, so you better understand how the online semester will potentially look like, and that you have more practical information about how we see this and how this can be organized. So let me first indicate to you, what is the current situation. So here you see an overview of all the first semester universities right now, and I'm speaking right now, at this date here in July. Algarve, Oviedo, Ancona, and UBO will still organize the courses in such a way that a physical presence is required. Physical presence required means that in most of the cases there will be a blended scenario where you have a number of online lectures, for example, and then limited and adapted, of course, physical activities in class. Now, Ghent and GMIT decided together also decided actually from the early start onwards to go for an online trajectory, a full online trajectory, which means that in theory in Ghent and GMIT, physical presence is not required. So if you're not able to travel to Ghent, there's no problem. You can just start following the courses and doing the materials physically from your home place. So this corresponds also with the online. What does an online mean? These are students that have indicated already earlier that they wish to take the full online trajectory, for example, and not physically travel during the first semester. So we're talking about a group of around 35-40 students that for sure will take the online courses as we are developing them right now. Okay, what does it mean? So we have set up a online learning platform, dedicated learning platform for the program. Here you see a screen capture of it, how it more or less looks like. And so for every course that we will have, there will be a different course as you see it here on the screen. So this Moodle environment, so we're using Moodle combined with a number of other tools, will be kind of the home place for all the online courses. Now you can already register yourself to this Moodle environment, and that's quite easy. You just go to oceantraining.eu/Moodle, and there you will be able with your you will see a button Google login, and there with the Google login you can use your IMBRSea account, only your IMBRSea account that you received earlier, to activate already your account in the Moodle. In the coming weeks we plan to open already a number of preparatory courses we're also developing for you. Prep courses. So we have the IMBRSea Toolbox. IMBRSea Toolbox is actually a course or a tool that was built last year by one of our students that is now graduating in the program, as a tool in which you can test yourself and see whether you have enough background information, background knowledge in order to go through each of the courses. So it's kind of a self-test, but also gives you some more practical details also on the potential habits and customs, let's say, at each different university. So that's the IMBRSea Compass I'm talking about, not the IMBRSea Toolbox. The IMBRSea Toolbox is a second course that we're developing right now, which is a short online course that will give you tutorials and intros to all the software tools we regularly use in our program. So we have an IMBRSea Gmail account, for example. So there will be a section about this Gmail account and how you have to use it and how you can adapt it to make sure it's fitting your needs. Also, there will be sections on how to use the library, for example, with your Ghent accounts, how to access software, etc., etc. So that's the IMBRSea Toolbox. And then a third part is the introduction to R, the summer, summer with the R referring to the program R, and that's actually an intro course that has been developed and that is being developed by an R working group that we established last semester, in which there are several students taking place as well as teachers that are involved in stats. And the idea of this course is that you get acquainted with the program R, you get familiar with the program R, because R will be used in the stats courses that will be done as well, and we just want to avoid that you lose the content of the stats course just by not feeling comfortable in the software package R. So all of these three courses will become available in the next coming weeks to you, so you can actually already prepare yourself and you can get used to the online learning environment we also have set up. Good. Now for next semester we for our online semester we have set up a certain mechanism that allows to have a structure, that you have very detailed structure, but also make sure try to make sure that even when you follow the courses online, you still have possibilities to interact with teachers as much as possible. So we have three different types of big units in our online course, in our online semester. The first ones are so-called sessions. So every day we have a so-called morning session and an afternoon session. That means that every day there will be two topics or sessions that will be opened on the online course, and which you will get access to. And each session will consist of a number of activities you can go through. Each session is developed as such that the total length of the activities will not exceed 2.5 to 3 hours of work. And it consists of a number of pre-recorded short lectures, reading materials, small quizzes, exercises you can do, tutorials with software. And by the end of the session, you should have reached the learning outcomes of that specific session. So you will see, I pasted here kind of an example of how the calendar will look like. So for example, on the Monday morning session, you will see that we planned here, I took just an example, that's ecology 3, and that the topic here will be community ecology. And so you will be able on that day, on the Monday, this session will be opened, will also remain open the days after, of course, but there it will be opened. You will be able to go through the materials of ecology 3. In the afternoon on Monday, there is QMMS, so quantitative methods and marine science, number 3, which will be about confidence intervals, for example. So that's the two sessions. So every day we will make available two packages of learning materials that you can then take during that day on your own speed, depending on your time zone you're in as well, depending on your own calendar, for example. But the idea is that you take those materials somewhere there. Why do I say, okay, the idea is that you take those materials on those specific dates? Well, you will see that we also planned for Q&A sessions. So every day we have planned in the morning and in the afternoon, we have planned 1 hour of question and answer sessions that will always be linked to a specific session you had, a thematic session. So for example, if I go here to the QMMS on the Wednesday morning, for example, there is a question and answer session on QMMS 3, confidence intervals. That's the session where you have learned the materials on the Monday. So the idea is that you take the materials on the Monday, in case some things are not clear to you, for example, things are very hard to understand, there will be an option in the learning environment to post already questions. You can post them until the Tuesday, and then there will be a session, a live session where you can just log in and talk and see the teachers as well, where they will answer then specific question that you raised on that topic that was introduced earlier. Note that we have afternoon and morning sessions. We're aware that the time zones are sometimes a tricky issue, so that's why we also organized always a morning and an afternoon session, so it at least fits to some extent to your local time zone. And we made sure that the question and answer session are also alternating for a certain course. So for example, here you see on the Monday for oceanography there is a question and answer session in the afternoon. So the next question and answer session will be in the morning for oceanography. So that's what you see here. So oceanography has a question and answer session following up on the content session on the Thursday morning. So that allows every student always to be able to follow all of the question and answer sessions in an easy way without too much hassle. Note that all the question and answer sessions are also recorded, and made available online, so you can re-watch them. If you didn't fully understand what certain thing was about, you still will have the possibility to watch the things again and to digest all the learning material in your own way. In order to promote interactivity and to active learning, we have also included so-called assignments. Some are really small things, some are a bit bigger, for example. Assignments are things you have to submit, that will be evaluated or that will contain some kind of evaluation by a teacher or by peers. And the ideas of these assignments is that you really go through the materials, that you learn how the materials work, and some, for example, will also be graded and count for the final grade of your of this course. This will be very clearly said in advance, which ones are counting for the final grade and which ones not. So assignments are things you submit after a session is finished, while during a session, for example, quantitative methods session, for example, there will be exercises also during the session. These exercises are just for you to train yourself, to get used to the materials, the learning materials, and are not graded. While, for example, you see here for Ecology 3, so in the morning session there is a session on community ecology. Apparently there is an assignment planned in that community ecology. There can be reading of a paper and answering a number of questions on that. And that the deadline for that will be on the Thursday to submit this specific assignment. So that's the link that is made. Always there is enough time foreseen, depending also on the size of the assignment. So for example, Ecology 3 is probably a bigger assignment that takes a bit more time to complete, because here you have 2 days actually to complete it, while for Oceanography 2 it's a smaller assignment because there is only 1 day in between the submission and the actual preparation of the materials. So this is how our scheme looks like, and we have prepared such a scheme for the whole semester. This scheme is ready now. We're just fine-tuning a number of final things because we have to still check some availabilities of teachers, for example, for certain sessions. But the idea is to have it there, so you know in advance how certain things look like. In order to make sure there is structure as much as possible, you will also see that there will be a recurring pattern. A course of 6 ECTS will have 2 sessions per week on average. 3 ECTS courses will have only 1 session per week. Now you can see here, for example, graphics design, which is in one of the transferable skills courses. In this week has 3 sessions, although it's just a 3 ECTS course. The reason for that is that we choose, for example, for graphics design to put all the content sessions in the beginning. Students will have the opportunity to work on a personal project, a personal portfolio, and then they have several months actually to complete that personal portfolio, and it's only at the end of the semester that this has to be presented. So in this way, this explains why certain things are more grouped in here. Important is that we do also the final evaluation, the exams. These will not happen during the semester. They will happen in January and February. So there we plan for the exams on the different courses. The majority of courses will have a combined setting where, for example, of the assignments count for 40%, and then there is an exam of 60%. In most cases this is a bit the ratio diverging from 30-70, 50-50, 60-40% between assignments and between the final exam that takes then place in January. Some dates maybe. Here you see such a view for 3 weeks. So just for yourself to prepare already. So we plan on the Wednesday of the week 0, we call it. So the week of the 14th to the 18th of September. Here we plan actually a welcome webinar. A webinar is considered as something where we can also interact in some way or another, where we can answer questions, where we can post questions and provide enough answers. And then that week we have also foreseen time, to let you go through the IMBRSea toolbox. So the toolbox courses, just to make sure that before the start here, of the classes, there's no you're used to the online learning platforms, you're used to how to find literature resources on the library, you're used to also finding specific softwares and using specific softwares. You will also notice the welcome webinar, we do it twice, once on the Wednesday morning, and once on the Thursday afternoon, just again to make sure that everybody has the ability to watch and to interact, because we think it's really an important type of webinar. This week will also be the week in which we will try to, for team-based assignments, for example, but team-based work in certain courses, already to set up a system in which you can subscribe to certain teams, for example, within certain courses. So there is also that these kind of small elements are also set up there. The courses end the week before Christmas. So we have in total, we will have like 12-13 weeks of courses, and I will just switch to an alternative view, so you have a bit of a better view on the total schedule. We have also foreseen, as you can see on my screen, the holidays. So there is a number of days off, just also for yourself, to have some time from time to time, to also practice or to just take a break. And towards the end of the semester, you will see that things become more empty. Here we still foresee, if possible, and that will depend, of course, on the COVID situation. For those people that will physically come to Ghent, for example, we still foresee some practical elements as well, lab work, if possible. For those people that will not be able to come to Ghent, here we will develop also alternative activities. So these will be elective, not obligatory, but we just want to keep that free. You will see that the last week 13, is actually a week which is reserved to stakeholder engagement. To the stakeholder engagement course, or to the graphics design course. So these transferable skills courses are both the transferable skills courses are set up as such that you have a number of preparatory lectures, so small workshops to go through, and then you have a personal project which can be completed in that last week. Good. We'll go back to this view now again. So in practice, I think it's kind of important to, if you will come to Ghent, for those people that come physically to Ghent, one of the things we decided to do here is, and that's kind of an offer of our university, is that we will foresee so-called studios. What are studios? These will be, so we will have the opportunity to bring you together in smaller groups, in small rooms, where we foresee and we hope to book these studios for all the courses that have a specific practical component as well, where you work with software, for example. So all the components, all the sessions where peer learning, where it's good to go, for example, together to through some materials. So just some examples here, for example. So in this specific week, the studios will most probably take place on the afternoon session, quantitative methods 3, GIS, for example, graphics design, because these are three things, for example, where it's good to be together, and if you don't understand something, to ask your neighbor, for example, on how these good things go. So for those people that come to Ghent, this is the opportunities we foresee to still come to campus, and to work together through some materials. In case in September or October we have more opportunities, for example, and things are calming down, of course you will have more access to the campus, and it will allow you also to work in physical teams better together. Yeah. Okay. Let me switch then to some mobility related elements. So mobility invitation letters were sent, at least for Ghent, so that's no, there is something on insurance. We have many questions on insurance because so in case you take a mobility, it's not if you stay home, if in case you take a mobility, if you move to one of the countries, Ghent University has negotiated a general insurance, travel insurance, full cover insurance, which costs, it's a health insurance, which costs around €321 per year. It's not obligatory, but you're free to take that one, and we will send also a message. But important is that we got this morning also an update that in case of illnesses due to COVID, this is also covered by this insurance. Of course, not if you stay home, because then it's not related to a certain mobility. But in case, for example, you take a mobility, and that's not only for Ghent, if you go to another university as well, then it's covered by this insurance. Now, related to housing information for UGent, but also for GMIT, because people that have subscribed to GMIT are still free to go to Galway, to physically experience what Galway is like, but there is no on-campus activities foreseen there. You can find that on our website. So if you go to one of those links, for example, for Ghent University, if you click on housing, for example, then you find all the information and the steps you should take in order to potentially register something or to find potential housing. Good. That as an intro, I think I expect that there will be questions. So what I will do now is actually switch back to the first view and have a look at the chat box and to see how I can potentially, hopefully, answer some of the questions. Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you for this web seminar. It's possible for students who do not participate exclusively in the online semester to also complete the practice units on IMBRSea Compass. All the prep courses, so the R course, the IMBRSea Compass, and the IMBRSea Toolbox will be online courses that are open to every student of the program. So if you follow the online, so if you're part of the online group, or you're going to the Algarve or to Oviedo, for example, then those will be available. Good. Question from Jennifer. Good afternoon. Will I be able to come to Ghent just for the proposed lab work in December, even if we weren't meant to be starting there? The answer is yes. You are welcome. Ghent is the coordinating university, and that's also why actually we, of course you will have to subscribe earlier, and we will have to know who is exactly coming for this. So when it's only for students, of course, that take the online trajectory, and it also will depend, but we will inform students on a regular basis of that, on the updates on the health situation, for example. It will also depend on what possibilities there are, potentially or not, to travel to Ghent. I hope that is answering the question. More questions? Another question from Jennifer. In terms of applying for visas, which embassies should we apply for? Schengen visa, student visa though, is it the first country we will be visiting? I think yes. It's to be honest, let's say, in case you would come to Ghent and you stay also for your second semester for in Ghent, then it's quite obvious that you will apply for a visum for coming to Ghent. So it's related to, in case you And so in case you are registered to a specific university, for example, for a visum, you will also require then a residence permit, and that's of course in a country where you will stay for a longer period. So in your case, for example, if you would come only for the lab work things, I would not apply for a visum in Belgium, but in another. But usually it's indeed the first country, but be aware of that. So we can also look then in further detail, I think, on specific situations. Let's say if there is complicated situations, of course we're willing to help also in trying to solve this situation. Yeah. There's another question. Oasis states that in order to register successfully at Ghent, one has to show up personally. Does it also apply to students who start at other universities? Yeah, apparently the people from the Oasis team in Ghent did not update the information that is shown. It's good that you mentioned this, because I will brief this to the central units of Ghent University, because Ghent University has changed the rules, so nobody should actually show up personally, because we will, for the first time due to the COVID situation, they agreed to have also online registrations, so without need to personally show up. So, and that's of course true for every student, anywhere in the program, that this is the case. Any more questions? So this webinar will also be recorded and you can watch it again. You can also share it with your colleagues, for example, that were not able to attend at this moment to watch the webinar. But I hope that the explanation of how the online semester will work kind of helps to a bit understand the complicated things behind it. Note that also for the studios that we install at Ghent, we foresee also a so-called study coach. So, and that will be somebody that will attend each of these sessions, and that will be there, not to answer practical things, but not about content things related to the courses, but also mainly to help you if you have practical things. For example, if specific elements need to be solved, and this will be the person that can then get in touch, for example, also with a professor or that can help to solve a certain situation that is appearing. I will start my master's degree in Ancona, but I have not received any information from the university. Do I have to enroll there as well, or is the enrollment at the University of Ghent sufficient? You don't have to do additional enrollments, but it's good that you inform us, because we expected that Ancona would have sent already some informations to the group of students that is planning to go there. So we will post a message to the partner in Ancona to actually see what is going on there and how this should be solved. So you don't have to do any additional registrations right now. You register to the program. It's a joint program, so it means that once you register to the joint program, automatically then local university registrations also take part. So don't do anything additional unless it's once you arrive there. Of course, you will have to show up then at the local university to get the student card, for example, but that's small details that come in a later stage. Okay, good. I don't see many additional questions coming up right now, so I suggest that we can close this session here now. In case you still have questions, feel free to post a message via our info@imbrsea.eu email address, and we of course plan also in the coming weeks to send regular updates. Last week we were in holiday at Ghent University, so last week there were no things answered. I see some more questions come in, so we will try. I'm a bit confused. The registration is done through the IMBRSea platform or Ghent University website. You have applied to IMBRSea. You have also registered through IMBRSea, yeah, and so you will all be enrolled. Every student will be enrolled in Ghent University, yeah. And besides that, if you're not at Ghent University, for example, if you've during your program you study also at a other university, it means that you will also automatically get enrolled there. So that's a bit. It's correct that you have indeed two identification numbers. There's one for your Ghent enrollment, yeah, for the whole duration of your studies, and then we have the joint IMBRSea one. So the IMBRSea enrollment is the one the IMBRSea enrollment is actually the overarching enrollment for the whole program. You also have a number, yeah. For registering for language courses in Ancona, for example, I'm sure that the local teachers there and the local coordinator will inform you how this actually has to be done. In previous years we never had problems with that, but await for some information, yeah, or send also a personal email to the local contact person there. The information can be found on our website as well. The local contact is Carlo Serrano, yeah. For Jennifer, GMIT, you have also not sent me any information. This is because the first semester is online. If you're doing the online course, we'll be able to get a student card. Yes, you will get a student card from Ghent, at least. Yeah. For the GMIT student cards, I have to actually check out. We will also check, because you're doing it online, yeah, that's why I presume that you did not receive any additional information yet, but we will also check so to make sure that they have at least sent some basic information and that they know that you are kind of also allocated to them. Yeah. When will be the first exams? Yeah, January, early February, but mostly all of the exams we would try to make them in January. This will be online exams. Yeah, online exams in most of the cases, and in the previous semester we had quite some experience with that, so that should be okay. Question from Ariba. I was wondering if these studio sessions will also be organized at GMIT, or they're only available at Ghent. Right now, this studio system is a Ghent, call it invention. Yeah, so it's only at Ghent that they plan to do them. Yeah, we will be in regular communication also with GMIT. So in case such a scenario would pop up, and we will not inform you very late on this, but rather early, we will also, of course, let you know. Yeah. Okay. Voilà. So then I think, because I don't see really burning questions coming in, that we can close this here. Hope to see you online or hopefully in person very soon as well. And yeah, we're preparing for a good semester, for the same quality as we're used to in previous years. We understand that online is not the ideal situation, but I think what I've seen and the work that has been done in the past months already on the online courses for the first semester, yeah, I'm feeling really confident that what we will be able to offer will be of good quality. So thank you very much for watching, and see you later. Bye bye.